Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kinder, the Tiger Knights, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you are looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today we are doing chapter 21 of Trustless Shadows. Okay, that's enough talking. We need to get moving. But the problem is that now that we're all on the clock, no one wants to stay behind to look after the civilians. I thought soldiers knew how to take orders. I don't even try to stop myself from smiling. We do, but being boosted doesn't affect everyone in exactly the same way. It's made a few of them willful, and if I don't take them, they're going to just go off on their own, leaving everyone here vulnerable. Have them come. I doubt anyone here is in danger. Really? Have you been in the same place I have? Claws. Do demons know the difference between civilians and military? Only if they've had encounters with them before. Otherwise, they are all food. We're not. The point, I cut the captain off, is that Adam didn't send them to kill you. That Adam sent them to kill you, not them. But because they don't know the difference, they just killed everyone. The cells had stacks of canned food. You don't bother feeding your prisoners if you're just going to kill them outright. I look around at the wounded. Even if he did send demons to kill everyone, so long as they stay here and keep the noise down, Adam isn't going to know there's anyone still alive other than you. And that's if he goes down to check. He's the only one who could tell most of your people aren't there. He's not going to look at every other body to do a head count. He'll know I'm missing if he looks, Valerie says. He remembers me. I saw it in his eyes. That's if he bothers checking the bodies. How hard is he going to look for you if he knows you're still alive? He's going to be too busy dealing with us, the captain says, and if not, he has to suspect we're free, so he won't venture into unsecured areas. His best strategy is to reinforce his position and put as many of his best fighters around the entry point as possible. He motions for the soldiers to join them. According to the blueprints, there are only 3 ways into the garage from inside the building: the 2 stairwells and the elevator. There's a heavy machinery elevator in the back of the garage, I says. That's not on the plan. Dr. Walker had it added not long after Maurice was finished, Valerie says, but it only goes to sub 10. It's there so Thompson could quickly move weapons to the armory. Does Maurice know about them? I leave them to the discussion and go to the stairwell. I open the door and listen. There's growling and claws on floor, but it's distance, and none of the sounds are moving closer. The stairwell is clear for the moment, I tell the captain, interrupting the talk. He's the one who wants us to get moving, after all. Do you want Claus and I to take the front or back? You're staying in front, Klein says. The captain glares at him, but nods. Claus enters the stairwell, and as I follow him, I hear clicking of claws on the metal stair, but somewhere below us. Heads up, I say as I run down the stairs. We can't afford to get caught between 2 groups of demons. I'm down to sub 5 when I know for certain there's only one of them and that he's coming closer, but the echoes make it difficult to tell how far he is. I unfold the sword, and sound of metal sliding against metal is faint, but the demon stops. I keep going. Sub 6, sub 7, he moves, and I pick up the pace. At sub 8, I see the top of his head. His eyes narrow on seeing me, and I jump at him before he can roar. My sword is aimed at the top of his head, but he moves, and I spear his muzzle as we collide. And tumble down the stairs. At the bottom, he shoves me away and through the open doorway. I stand and unfold the other sword. I'm sore, but nothing feels broken. He gets to his feet, pulling the sword out of his muzzle with a silent snarl. And with a silent snarl, he throws it aside and growls. His muzzle is the only thing that doesn't want to change as fast, while it drips black blood. Quickly, he realizes that being larger isn't an advantage in the narrow stairwell. I could take advantage of it, but he roars. The sound will But if he roars, the sound will carry all the way to Adam and possibly every demon in the building. I turn and run. I hear him hit the sides of the door as his instinct to chase me overrides. Overrides his knowledge he won't fit. He fights against it, wood breaks, and then his claws scrape the ground as he runs. I run straight. I'm not familiar with this level. Thompson's lab is the only room I have familiarity with. I burst in and immediately move against the wall next to the door. He runs past me and I slash his shoulder. He screams outrage and shoves me away. I hit the wall and barely keep my grip on the sword. I use it to block, and the strength of the blow sends it flying out of my hand. He rears for a slash, but I throw myself on the floor between his legs. I slash at his back with my hand as I stand, but he's already turning, and I only cut his side. He roars, and I don't see the hand that hits me. I get back up and try to block the next blows. His hands are blurs and my chest stings. The front of my coat and shirts are in tatters. My chest and stomach are covered with red line. I have no idea how he isn't gutting me. Wrong, he says, and the word is distorted like he isn't used to speaking. Not something I can help. Wrong. The words turn into a roar, and there's an undercurrent of pain and loss in it, anger and the promise of violence. I back away. He considers me guilty of something. This is personal for him. He throws himself in my direction. I slash at him as I throw myself out of the way and feel the edge bite into his flesh. I roll and stand. The long gash on his arm is already closing. The edges of my skin form. The edges my skin forms are sharp, but they aren't irradiated. He can easily heal those. I look around for my sword, locating by the entrance, behind the demon. I step to edge around him when he roars again. The force of it hits me hard, and it's almost familiar, but it's the intent in it that has me on a knee. I smell wrong, not right, like someone but not them. What does that mean? I don't smell like anything. Trust just me, and I'm not. You smell so much like fangs in the light, claws in the dark told me. The demon before me moves from foot to foot. He's waiting for me to attack. His sense of pain and loss. The familiarity in the tone of his roar. I have trouble breathing. Runs the forest. Run Runs the forest. I didn't. Run How do I explain to him? I didn't do anything to Fangs in the Light. I didn't kill his mother or father or however demons see them. Die. He stretches the word and my body vibrates with the hate he feels for me. Don't do this. Die. Claus is here. You're not alone. He roars, more of the hate. Does the name even translate? Does he understand it? I raise my hand. I don't want to fight you. He throws himself at me. I run out of the way and feel pain in my side. Even before I'm on my feet, I'm flying from the fist in my back. I hit the wall with enough force, I can't get my feet under me. He grabs me by the neck and throws me away. I don't want to kill you. I make it to all fours as I reach for my revolver. Go home, runner. The kick sends me up. I hit the ceiling, the floor, and bounce a few times. Home. Runs the forest, rumbles. And through my pain and dizziness, there's a sense of it being here, but also being gone. There's a wall behind me, and I force myself to sit. My hand falls against the hilt of my sword. Your home is the wild. Go back to it. He roars, and the rage is undercut with pain so deep I feel tears falling down my cheek. You're going to die if you stay here. I close my hand with the handle. I force myself up. This place isn't for you. I take an unsteady step forward. He doesn't understand anything of what I'm saying. I don't speak their language. In this moment, I wish I'd retained something of the demon that was used to make me. Enough so I could make him understand I don't want to kill him, but I can't afford to die. Claws in the Dark needs me. Please, runner. He runs at me. I raise the sword. He impacts me, and I black out when I hit the wall. I come to partially under him. I don't know how long, how much time. You know what? I come to partially under him. I don't know how much time has passed, but I'm still alive. I pull myself out from under him, and he whimpers. I turn him on his side. The sword is through his head. I'm sorry. Home. The word is barely audible among the pain rumblings. I get a sense of it being here, of it being now. I shake my hand. You should have left. Tears are falling. I hold him. As I hold him. Home, he rumbles. And I and I remember running at his side, our bodies shifting as terrain demands. I remember the satisfaction of the hunt, the moment when I sink my teeth into the flesh of my prey. I remember the joy of running through the trees, of looking up at the eyes and knowing that nothing. The memory ends there. Runs the forest isn't moving anymore. His eyes are dark. Why did it have to be this way? Why do I always end up having to fight and kill them? I know I need to get up and rejoin the soldiers, rejoin Claus. I'm going to have to tell him about this. It's going to hurt him so much. I make it to my knees and pull the sword out. I wipe it from on my coat and fold it. I form the blade around my head. I hesitate. Then hit runs the forest, skull as hard as I can. Once I have his soul stone, I get up and head for the stairs. As I climb them, my body feels better, but I feels worse. Adam's word comes back to me, that Claus isn't like me, the implication that he's going to abandon me. If I tell him what I did, he'll have every reason to hate me. If I don't tell him, I feel the stone in my hand. He'll find out eventually. When he does, through the dead. When he goes through the dead. When he realized that stone has already been taken, I did it, so I need to be the one to tell him to return the stone to him. I expect to see him in the stairwell as I get close to sub 2, but they aren't there. I hear a conversation beyond that door. I open it, and for a moment I don't understand what I'm looking at. Well, look who decided to come back. And that concludes chapter 21 of Trustless Shadows. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read the book as well as the others in the series, They are available on Kindle Unlimited. If you want a different way to support me, that is on my Patreon. And if you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.